Welcome to High Tea Podcast. We're your hosts, Mel, Kellen K, where we sip and speak on what many are thinking but are too shy and not bold enough to say. So buckle up, grab a glass, and pinkies up. Now enough stalling. Let's get into the show.
Ladies, how y'all doing?
Doing good.
Pretty damn good.
I love the positivity because y'all know I'm a toxic bitch and I'm all about the negativity out here in these streets. That's why I need y'all to be my positive light. So thank you.
Hey, at least you're on
you.
that.
Yeah, for real. Out of the two of us, you are you like the toxic.
I do. I
Don't get it twisted. Me and Kelly like the toxic too, but Melissa's our toxic godmother.
Yeah.
I'm the toxic grandpa. Like, I'm ready for the smoke. I like watching it. It's hilarious. Also, I can find drama in anything. Like, it's just my secret talent.
Right.
Yep. She ready to knuck and buck at any given moment.
Right,
Literally. Right. Like, yesterday, I had about 3 moments where I was like, this motherfucker did it. Oh, no.
Right. Melissa's that person that would watch the house burn for like 10 minutes and then finally decide to call the cops.
Because I'll be standing there like, that bitch knew she left that flat iron on. I don't know why the fuck she did that and left the house like it was a normal day.
Mel is the one that's like making all the theories, coming up with the theories. Was it a candle? Was it a flat iron? Was it a rag on the stove?
Oh yeah, I want to go CSI up in that bitch and be like all up in the business.
Melissa want to see that shit explodes first before she calls the cops.
It's gonna happen either way. Why do I need to call them faster? What they finna do?
Kelly's the one that sees the smoke in the garage and calls immediately. I'm the one that waits for the spark of fires, and I have a fire extinguisher.
That is so true.
Mm-hmm. You see, there's levels to this shit.
Yep.
Oh, I love you ladies so much. Oh my gosh. All right.
Coming out of nowhere.
That was great. Thank you for that. All right. So this week we are going to talk about, it's kind of a weird thing, but I felt like we should talk about it because I thought it was interesting. So you know how people be like, not all women or all these motherfuckers or all this shit, like they just generalize everybody into one box.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about that.
Mm.
I want to talk about your thoughts, some examples, and we gonna deep dive into this. Social media moment. We got 2 options. I want to feel this conversation out before I make a decision. To be quite honest with y'all, because that's the kind of week it's been. And speaking of a house burning down, and weddings, we can talk about to have a big wedding or to not, and why we feel the way we feel each independently. So,
I kind of don't think that even is an independent thought at this point.
Yeah,
Well,
it's very, 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 very universal between the 3 of us.
Yes, but I want to share why. Because I base my notes on the fact that we all have the same opinions on that topic. Because someone has asked us why we've mentioned this in several episodes. So we gonna deep dive into it because we got 2 wedding professionals and 1 best friend of wedding professionals who are all on the same page.
Yep.
So, as we are about to start this episode, we will deep dive into that. But let's go ahead and start with the generalizing of populations because I have a couple thoughts on it. But just like stereotypes, there's some things that are just kind of a good given fact that it's just kind of a true thing. And there's most things that are not. And that's kind of my problem with it. So, generalizing a group based on actions or even just like rumors, because some people generalize motherfuckers just based off rumor. They have no fucking experience in it, and it drives me insane. Speaking of finding the dramatics. So, perfect example, being like, fuck all these niggas. They all fuck niggas. First of all, bitch, you've been choosing to fuck niggas.
That sounds like a personal problem.
That sounds like a you decision. I'm sorry. I woke up this morning and saying, nah, I'm good. I can't control what other people do, but that's one thing that like they, especially the hurt women who choose them, love to go on their rants and be like, fuck all these motherfuckers. All right, bitch, but didn't your girlfriend say she saw that person with several women and you still stayed? Oh. Oh, okay. But who am I to judge? You know, I'm just here to be on the sidelines and watch the toxicity with my popcorn.
Fire burn. The house is lit.
Correct. Mr. Fire, please. There's someone here. There's a little flames. There's some smoke. You should come check it out. What are some that y'all have heard? Like, the all women are crazy.
Yeah, that's annoying.
That's annoying because the men who are also saying this also ignore the flags, and they ignore the flags, seeing that this person is not well balanced, and they just ignore them because the sex is good. Because the sex is always good with a crazy person. Let's be very clear.
Then on top of that, you have people out here, especially a lot of men that call women crazy. It's just like
they cause
half the time, right? You don't even meet her when she's crazy. You made her crazy. Like, evaluate yourself. What did you do in that situation? Was she always like this?
As a woman, who turned crazier, from a man, go ahead.
Women already go through enough, so why are you gonna make us even more worse about it?
And then call us crazy after you created the monster that you see today.
Make it make sense.
Right.
Help me understand. All right, motherfuckers. What were some of these statements that you've never liked nor agreed with?
Mine's the one that always grinds my gears and like really hits me to the core is all women, they just want you for your money.
Oh.
First of all, you broke
Not
boy.
Over here, motherfucker.
And you know what's sad about it? It's always the brokest motherfuckers saying that shit. Like,
feeling like you stunting with your G-Shock.
No, G-Shocks are expensive. Don't do that.
Not stunting money. I'm sorry.
They're not stunting money, but still.
It's poor people money. That's what that shit is.
Right. I'm just like, so you telling me I want you for your money because you took me to Applebee's and we had a $40 meal?
First of all, you took me to Applebee's. Ain't nobody want you.
Right. And it's just like, second of all, sir, I pulled up in my own whip. Do I really want you for your money? If you want to pay, I'm not gonna tell you no.
First of all, I would leave.
And I'm just like, second of all, a lot of women are very independent and they make their own money. If you over here having women who only want you for your money,
that sounds like a you problem. You made that decision.
That sounds like a personal choice that you made.
You woke up this morning and said, I like broke bitches.
Let me get a broke hoe.
Let me try to be Captain Save a hoe up in this bitch.
Let me slide into the DM of one of these Instagram hoes. Like, what's wrong
and they
with
get
y'all?
mad when they want, their bag because they want their bag.
First of all, if you flaunt yourself around like you're this rich man, like you have all this money, like you a sneakerhead, that you got this, that you got that, you can't be mad if women who only want you for your money are coming after you. You did that to yourself. Like, you put yourself out there as that. Just like how you have people who think that just because a woman posts a bikini picture, every other picture she's a hoe. It's like,
no.
No, that's not always true. She just likes her body and maybe just wants to show it off. That doesn't mean that she's a hoe because she has like half her Instagram roll is bikini pictures or whatever.
First of all, as a bigger woman, I have become more happy with myself when I'm naked than I ever am in clothes. That's also why I don't take pictures anymore, because I just don't give a fuck how I look anymore. I'm just like, oh, that's cute, cool. When I'm naked, I'm like, hey girl, how you doing?
Right. I'm like, ooh.
Booty shot, hey girl. Ooh. And I can't post those pictures.
Right, you can't.
So, who are you to judge? Anyone. What about you, Miss Kelly?
Oh, no, mine's actually a little controversial. I don't know how y'all are going to take it, but hey, I was going to say that not all women can be believed. And when I say that, I mean particularly when it comes to sexual abuse and when that whole Me Too movement came about. I'm very, very conscious about how I look at those kind of stories that pop up, because a lot of women, not all of them, but a lot of women, they tend to want to get on this bandwagon of,
Mm-hmm.
I was abused by such and such. And like when it came to Bill Cosby or Harvey Weinstein or even Michael Jackson, you had people coming out of the woodwork saying that I was abused by him, they drugged me, all this kind of stuff. And you
Mm-hmm.
can tell when somebody's doing it for the money and for that 15 minutes of fame. And I can't get around it all the time. Like I literally have to turn into Judge Judy and read the information for myself, because there are people out, women are very, very sneaky and very money hungry when it comes to stuff like that, because they know most people will go directly to that survivor believing
Mm-hmm.
mentality. And you
Mm-hmm.
can't always believe women for that, unfortunately. And then you have
Well,
those survivors who actually went through that and they may not believe, and it really did happen to them.
Yep. Yep.
no, I agree with
Yeah,
you
I
because
agree with you.
people tend to forget that in every community, whether it be based on race, be based on gender, sexual preference, there are bad people in every single group.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
someone's always gonna have some type of malicious intent, just
Yeah.
for their own personal gain.
Like, perfect example of non-real people, but real shit that happens like that. Watch Law. That's why we like Law and Order SVU, because that
Mm-hmm.
shit be crazy. I watched the wildest episode that I've never seen before in my life, and my jaw was to the ground the entire time, and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck is happening?" And that's the second episode that I've seen the last 2 weeks that have left me speechless.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one was a malicious woman who did a lot of shit to try to get back at somebody and had a lot of backup plans to further her proof and ended up ruining lives, including
Yeah.
her own.
Wow.
It was a
That's
wild
crazy.
episode. I'm gonna find it and send it to y'all. But yes,
No, I agree with Kelly though, because for me, after the whole Amber
Amber
Heard and
Heard.
Johnny Depp situation,
Mm-hmm.
that like solidified it for me, for the fact that you had people who knew Johnny Depp had people who knew him personally for years. Even his own ex-wife spoke
Mm-hmm.
out and was just like, what the hell is going on? Like, this is not who this man is at all. Like, he's quiet, he's gentle, like we're still friends. This doesn't make any sense. That's not in his character whatsoever.
He's trouble, but he's not that fucking trouble.
Right. Just for this
Yeah.
guy, his trouble is this like having a drink over drinking every night and then knocking out. Like that's his
Right.
trouble. Like that's his trouble.
You
Normal
can
And
fix
things.
that.
right. And I'm like, I mean, I do that every Friday and Saturday, so I don't understand. But yeah, but it's so sad because this guy lost revenue behind
His
her
career.
and
Yeah.
she kept on flourishing because she became the face of a movement. Like this woman was a
Mm-hmm.
liar and became face of a movement and made the whole entire Me Too movement even more uncreditable as it already is.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and it's because of malicious people like that, people who have whatever personal trauma she may have or whatever demons she has in her closet or whatever mental stuff that she has going on that she's never dealt with, and that she thinks that she can play the victim card and it's okay, and she thinks she was going to get away with it.
Well, she
Mm-hmm.
did.
She didn't.
She comparing what she's lost compared to what he's lost his
Yeah.
entire career.
Yeah, but guess
Mm-hmm.
what? He's suing everybody.
Yeah, but the damage is
Everybody.
still done though. Like, she's still booking things.
No.
She's still booking.
Mm,
I saw she booked something the other day. She got some deal the other day or some shit. He's not doing anything. Like, his career is done. Anything that he
Yeah.
yeah.
does from this point on is probably financed by him or someone who
Mm-hmm.
believes him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's sad because all the evidence was there, physical evidence, everything.
Yeah.
Like, there are malicious, nasty people out there. And that's not to say that all women who claim anything, whether it be sexual, mental, physical, emotional abuse, that is not to
Mm-hmm.
say that they're not credible. But there are bad people out there who unfortunately do validate people questioning their cases.
Yeah.
And it sucks because
Mm-hmm.
there are so many women, 1 in 5, and I think it's actually getting worse, are sexually, emotionally, or physically abused.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can all say in this tribune that something has happened to us at some point, whether it be higher or lower on the totem pole of abuse, it still has happened.
Right.
Just walking down the street.
Yep.
Yep. Or someone making an unwanted advance on you, even though you told repeatedly, I don't like you. I don't want to be touched by you. Leave me alone. Those are all forms of sexual assault. If anybody makes you scared of your autonomy and your physical body, where you feel like you are in danger and you are scared, that is assault.
Yeah, you don't have to be penetrated to be sexually assaulted.
And I think that's the part that a lot of men doesn't grasp, and that's why it's hard for them to understand what sexual abuse is.
Right.
Because they just literally see it as just being, or any type of like molestation or any type of those situations, they think that you have to actually be penetrated in order to be assaulted.
Yeah, and that's far from the truth.
And it typically happens before that point. Before you even get to the physical or sexual abuse, there is emotional and mental abuse.
Yep.
Right.
And I'm sorry, I cannot get on board at this point until President Agent Orange is in jail. His whole life has been taken from him. His money is on freeze, as well as Harvey Weinstein. Because those are the two men who have to be in jail. They completely screwed people over.
Right. Like, look how quick they were able to throw, what's this dude's name again? Andrew Cuomo out of office.
Exactly.
And this man, and the orange is still on the loose.
Done far worse things.
With way more women who has coming out with him with
internationally,
literally physical evidence to prove that he has paid people to stay quiet. There's receipts.
Is the OG wanna be a mafia man, like paying people to kill.
His own niece wrote a tell-all about him.
Yeah.
You had, what was that porn star, Stormy Daniels, that was come out doing interviews for years against this guy.
Evil shit.
No, after I heard him say grab him by the pussy, I was like, oh, bitch. You want to start a war? You ain't grabbing anybody by no pee. That ain't happening.
And this is where that saying, money is power, comes in. It is power.
Well, there's a certain level, and we're super off tangent, but kind of not.
But kind of not. It comes into it.
To me, this is a perfect kind of second point to this. There are some things that I think all does kind of apply. So to me, when you get to a certain level of rich, there is evil shit you have to do to get there. Just like all those castles that are in Europe and all that shit was built by slaves, dog. So to get to that level of rich, you have to do evil shit to others in order to get there. And I'm sorry, that does apply to some people in our race, and I'm not going to say their names, but they've done some evil shit to get to where they are.
Not just to get there, it's also to stay there. You got to continue
stay there. Yes. So you have to continuously be doing evil shit against other humans in order to get to the level that they are at. And he is one of them. He has done evil shit intentionally and probably also unintentionally, and didn't give a fuck after he found out, probably.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, people feed off of that to stroke their ego, as well as to get more validation, accreditation for what they think is going to be good in the long run. But really, they're just screwing up their entire life at the end of the road, because at some point karma is going to come, and it ain't going to be cute.
I'm waiting. I got my seat ready. I picked out my meal that I'll be eating when I watch it. Like, I'm prepping for the day.
Yep. I'm ready to rent out a stadium to watch it all go down.
I am planning my life. It's a part of the nuggets of my life that I'm planning. It's just be ready.
Yep.
Well, to kind of tap back into things that we don't agree with, I wanted to bring up this one because it's one of the toxic ones I have on my list. But this one I think is going to definitely be a conversation point. The black men don't cheat narrative that people are trying to push. Let me be very clear.
Who the fuck said that?
Motherfuckers like to keep repeating it, and one of them is the group that we listen to avidly, and I love that group, but y'all are crock full of shit. Every human cheats, regardless of race, sexual orientation, or gender.
First of
all motherfuckers cheat. It doesn't matter what defines, what makes you as a person by what you're born with and made yourself as a character does not define who cheats and who doesn't cheat. Because I've been cheated on by black men. Let's be very clear.
So have I. So first of all, if
Men,
they
not
really
boys.
want to know the truth, if you have divorced black parents, ask your mother why you're divorced. She may not have told you the exact reason why, but ask. And also ask your grandmother. Even though your grandparents are still married, ask your grandmother as well.
Most marriages, there's infidelity at some point, and if
Yes.
they continue after the infidelity, is because they agreed that they wanted to move on and continue their marriage. And I understand. I, as a person in this world, I have understood that cheating is a thing that does happen, and you need to decide whether that person is worth moving forward or moving on,
or whether you can let go of it if you decide to move on. Because that's another thing. A lot of people.
The second part to that.
Yes, because a lot of people say that they're okay with it, but then you still bring up that shit in arguments later on, like years down the line. So no, if you know you're that type of person where you hold on to shit like that, then you need to move on from that relationship if that's the case. Because me, I know I ain't that bitch, so.
But I would also blame the whole that black men cheat in particular due to social media and movies and entertainment. Because that's all they talk about in songs, and I got this bitch and I'm with yours and da 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 da. And it's like, yo, that's not cute to hear on a regular basis. But that's exactly what's being put in our ears from our TV screens and everything, is we just see our people doing that. So we're not expecting white people do that because, quote unquote, they have the best life ever.
They don't. And
no, they actually just have more respect for each other as individuals.
No, they're just better at keeping secrets.
Yeah.
That's as well.
The difference. They're just better at keeping their shit on the low.
First of all, they don't make songs snitching out their lifestyle.
Right. Which is so
Unless
true.
Unless they're Hugh Hefner and he's living his best life.
Right.
So, well, yes, no, I completely agree. And I understand the narrative of saying black men don't cheat. But the people who say this the most often are the ones who are perfectly fine letting their friends cheat on their significant other. So don't tell me that black men don't cheat. Well, yes, that might apply to you as the person saying it. Your friends and your homies that you surround yourself with, you allow it to happen. So don't tell me black men don't cheat, because you help support the narrative of actually they kind of do.
Yep, and they call it minding my business because that ain't my business. It's like,
but don't be preaching that shit if you allow the people you create in your circle.
But you know what's so crazy? As you're saying that, and you just reminded me about this. So I'm not gonna call nobody's name or whatever the case is, but I've listened to a few black men run podcasts, right? And when that topic of I don't cheat, but I have friends who do, and it's not my business, so I don't say nothing. It ain't my business, and it's just like, so you don't hold each other accountable.
There you go.
That's what we need more of.
Shit.
So you telling me that? Because me personally, at least within my personal friend group, if I know my friend is doing some shiesty shit and my friend know I'm doing some shiesty shit, we're gonna call each other out on that shit and be like, "Yo,
sure will."
Yeah, what the fuck are you doing? But to hear black men on the internet, you're on the internet putting this shit out for other black men, telling them, it ain't my business that whatever my boy's doing, that's between him and his girl. His girl don't know, so it's between you, him, and the friend group.
Right.
Hello, in the group chat.
Bro code.
And the group chat. So that's bad bro code.
Hold each other accountable. If you're gonna say black men don't cheat, make sure you're holding your friends accountable.
Right. Because if you know you have a trifling ass friend in the friend group, you need to hold that motherfucker accountable. That's not right. That's not right. And that's how you create broken women, and then complain that women are broken.
Now, don't get it twisted. I am the type of motherfucker to be like, are you telling them the truth of what you want and what you feel and what you're expecting from them? If the answer is yes to all of that, then go live your fuck shit life. I don't care. Because if they're on the same page as you, don't get me wrong, I'm still gonna call you a hoe. Don't get it twisted. But in a joking manner, I'm embracing your life. But if you're not being fully honest and open about what exactly you want out of the situationship that you've entered with that person, then no. Don't be. If you trying to be her man, then be her man.
Yeah.
If you trying to be her fuck guy on the side, then be that. But y'all got to be on the same page, because if not, you're cheating out here in these streets. I'm sorry. Once you introduce somebody to your mama, that's relationship level shit. I'm sorry, we together. So,
and my thing is just, it's like,
me.
For me, it's also like the last thing I'm going to say about that is like, if you know that you're the type of man or the type of woman or whatever you are, that you cannot remain monogamous to one person, don't be in a relationship with one person. Go run these streets if that's what you need to do. Like, don't bring other people into your mess. Like, no one cares if you want to be running the streets. That's your prerogative. That's your life decision. Go do that. But when you start inflicting your life onto someone else's, now that's very fucking selfish. So if you want to run the streets on your own. Like, if you want to fuck 10 bitches a week, go ahead and do that. Go do your thing. But don't be sitting here having a woman at home that's out here riding for you at home while you doing your dirt. Like, and people don't think about shit like that. No. And she don't know. And you could be bringing anything back to her. And women's bodies are already sensitive as it is. We don't need your dirt from the streets.
I would fuck a motherfucker up.
That's how people end up on Fatal Attraction. That's how niggas end up getting stabbed 20 times
on Snapped.
Right.
The victim.
And why you think it's always women on Snap? Because y'all motherfuckers make women snap.
Yeah. Because you try us and try us and try us again until we lose our shit.
Right. And then you end up with 10 stab wounds to the face. So
or Melissa standing outside the front yard watching the house burn that she set on fire. Right.
Oh no, my mic.
All right, Jesus.
Oh man, that was good. Oh yeah, that felt nice. I think last one that I want to bring up is that all women cannot handle working, because this is still a thing that people think, and being leaders because of their emotions and their periods. Suck a whole dick. I can handle my emotions. I can handle everything I do quite fine.
Right.
What I can't handle is your toxic shit in front of me asking me stupid ass questions like I haven't been doing what I do for years and wouldn't be in this position if I didn't do what I do how I do it.
Yep.
Mic drop.
Okay then. Don't ask for the manager when I'm the director, bitch. How can I help you?
Superiority at its finest.
Right. I think my last one would be that all women are emotional.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's different levels of emotional.
I've met more emotional men than I have women, to be very clear.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not that that's a problem, but I'm just saying.
Yes, because we all deal with our emotions differently. We've talked about this on the show, how we've processed our own emotions and how we deal with our emotions and stuff like that. But trust me, not all women are not over emotional. We all don't cry at the end of some fucking bullshit ass movie and all that stuff like that. Like, leave our emotions alone. Stop attacking our emotions. Stop using it as an attack, a weapon against us, because it's not. We're all entitled to our feelings and our emotions, and we're all validate, and it's valid.
And maybe you should deep dive into your own emotions of why you think that it's okay to attack ours.
If we feel it, it's valid. If you don't feel it, then yours is valid. But other than that, men and women are different. Stop making it seem like women are supposed to be on the same emotional level as men, because we're not. Like, some of y'all motherfuckers need to deal with your shit.
Or punishing us for us dealing with our emotions.
Right. So if you don't want to deal with a woman who has emotions, then don't date women.
Or don't talk to any woman. just deal with your own self.
Just be asexual and deal with yourself. If women and their emotions is so alarming to you or triggering.
Live your life
away from us. And this is why a lot of women are more comfortable talking to their female counterparts about their emotions versus their men. When you weaponize our emotions against us, we no longer feel trusting that you can take care of it.
Or that they take our emotional moments as sexual advances and they make it into a sexual thing.
That, or you ask us the most stupid, annoying, ignorant, and
rude.
Very rude question of, are you on your period?
Mm-hmm.
That is disrespectful.
Come on. Straight punch you in the face.
Yep.
And I'm about violence. Ask anyone who met me in high school. I've just learned not to do that because a bitch will get arrested.
Yeah, that's my last.
Oh man. I would say for my last one would be, not all men need, want, or are uncomfortable being the sole provider in the household. And when it comes to nowadays, we have more women who are becoming the sole provider in the household.
Or the primary.
Men are staying at home, watching the kids, helping around the house, switching that gender roles. And I'm totally here for it. And there are just some men
to get mine like that.
Yeah, there are some men who are just very fine and comfortable being in the skin that they're in, don't see that their masculinity has been diminished because they're at home. And I think that's beautiful. I think we need more of that.
I'm about it. I'm working real hard to get mine.
I'm on the fence.
I would love for mine to be my house husband. That would be wonderful. And he can have his own little side hustle while he takes care of the kids. Like, we got a whole hood in here.
Nobody said you had to be lazy.
Oh no,
you can have your side stuff.
He's going to make some kind of money. He's not going to sit at home. He would never. He as a person would never want to do that. Like, he would want some form of independence, as he should.
You want to be a housewife for like a year and have a side hustle at home. Nah, for like a year.
I will be an entrepreneur. I will not be a stay-at-home mama. I can't. I'm good.
That's why I said I will only do it for like a year.
I think I could do both, but I'm always busy doing something.
Yeah,
so
you
it's
can't
not
sit
like
still. You will be an entrepreneur. You will never be a stay-at-home mom. You will be
flexible.
a entrepreneur.
Yep.
Yeah, you will. You can't sit still with the job you got. You got like 16 side hustles.
Yep.
That's probably the exact amount.
Probably.
Kelly's about to go do some calculating in a little bit.
The fact that I have 9 email addresses says a lot.
Listen, that's some sketch ass shit, Kelly. Don't let people know that.
Hey, at least I don't have 4 phones.
I know. I got 2 phones. That's Kelly.
Listen, I'm about to embrace that 2-phone life. If I can get that second income, I sure will.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat, I'll start putting everything on the work phone. Like, don't call me. This phone will be off from 10 to 10.
If you have my personal, then good for you.
Yeah, proud of you. Speaking of
fuck ass shit. Let me say the words for you, Mel.
I love you. Thank you for being you. I was gonna say, what are some statements that you actually wholeheartedly agree with? So I can start the toxicity off. As a woman, men don't listen. As I look at mine from across the room, I love him to death, and we've talked about this as a couple. He doesn't listen the way that I always need him to listen, and that's not necessary. It's not something he's doing intentional, because I've experienced this with other men and other women that I speak to. They experience it with their men and the men of their past. It's just something about the male brain. They don't listen to the words always at the right moment. They hear us, but they don't listen. And some days I could understand and rationalize and be calm, and some days I want to choke him. But I don't, because I don't choose violence today.
Today's not the day for it.
Today's not the day. It's not worth it. And I got a white man, so I can't be doing that. Yeah. I'm good off of all that.
I always like to say that men are like Helen Keller. They can't see and they can't hear.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Just can't get through to them.
That was beautiful. That's a bar, Kelly.
Okay.
Yeah, what are some statements that y'all are like, all right. These are correct.
I don't think a lot of men get their act together until they really have that one woman in their life to get them on that path to adulting. Because a lot of men just don't want to either get their house in order, their apartment in order. They're always living that bachelor life for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
Even up until the night before the wedding, they're living that bachelor life.
Oh, not in this house.
That just made me think about this. That just made me think about something. Not all women want to be your mother.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's very true.
Please stop it. Please stop it. There's a huge difference between your mother and your woman. Huge difference. Your mother is supposed to raise you.
All right,
and
now
groom you to be a gentleman.
Yep.
And your woman is supposed to embrace that
and make you the man you both want to be. Well, he wants to be and she wants to be as a wife.
Together.
Exactly.
I think in both of what you're saying, I completely agree. Because I definitely see it's either one of two things. They find a woman or a partner, I should say, in their early 20s, and they mold each other into the people they want to be that make them more grown. Or they live their bachelor lives until early 30s, mid 30s, 40s, forever. But usually in their 30s, they start to get their act together. So they start to get a bed frame. They start to get bookshelves. They start to get matching, dishware and glassware. It no longer looks like, a college den.
Yeah, that shit is true.
It's so true.
Like when you go to a single 20-something-year-old man's house, it looks like literally they're still in college. And then you go to 30-something-year man, it's like, who designed your place? And he's like, I picked it out. I was like, oh.
Let me tell you something. My man told me when we first got together, not even when we first got together, at least like a couple months into our relationship and stuff like that. We were talking about like, guys' bachelor lifestyle and stuff like that. And he brought up to me that he's been on his own living by himself for a while, a very long time with like roommates and stuff. And he said that for a very long time he had a twin size bed and he was still bringing bitches home on a twin size bed.
Oh yeah. I mean, I smashed on a twin.
Yeah, and he said it took him like getting into like a serious relationship, like his relationship before me, for him to actually get a full size bed.
Yeah, that's nothing new.
And he was just like, because I didn't care, because he's like, I grew up sleeping on the twin size bed, so got that twin double XL because he's a tall guy. And that's it. He's like, I sleep on one pillow anyway. So
men are they know what they know until they elevate themselves. And that's just people also in general, but especially men. When they know what they know and they're comfortable with it, until they get to the point of elevating themselves, they're perfectly content doing whatever they want to do that's in that realm.
Yeah.
Right.
Like last night, my boyfriend had fried pierogies and baked beans. I said, baby, I know we are technically poor in the eyes of the government, but you don't have to have a poor man's meal. Like, we got money up in these. Great. No, they are, but it was the combination of the baked beans that made me say that statement. Because I knew he had pierogies. So I was like, ooh, that sounds good. Yeah, go ahead. I did not know about the baked beans until I got home, and I was like, we got food in the house, right? We just went shopping.
No, that's true, though. That is so true.
He's like, it sounded good, so I just made it. I said, I'm not knocking you. I was just making sure we got some money in the bank. We are right.
My man be up at like 11 o'clock in the night eating a cup of soup. Like, all right.
There's just certain things you just can't let go, apparently.
I'm like, you could have asked me to make you something. I would have got up and make you something. I don't mind.
It's one of those babies where you're like, oh, baby, no. I could have helped you.
Why are you doing that?
But you that's can take the boy out the struggle, but the struggle can't get out the boy.
No, that shit is true. Like my man is addicted to Ghanaian bread. I mean, this is a white dude. My boyfriend is white, like white, and he's addicted to Ghanaian bread. So his coworker brings the bread for him. He would literally eat this bread dry, no butter, no nothing. But it's really that good that you can eat it with no butter, no nothing. And I'm just like, babe, you want me to put some peanut butter in that? He's like, nah, I want it just like this.
Keep that shit away from me. That's how I feel about my flatbread. I just want butter on it. Don't put nothing else on it.
Yeah, but
I'll
yeah,
maybe
men
use
are
peanut butter.
simple.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of men are simple, and you know what I've
I respect
realized
it.
too. What I realized too is a lot of very good men are very simple men.
Yep.
Your complicated men are the ones
Toxic.
who are like extra. Those are the motherfuckers that want a 5-course meal every other night. Like,
but you never get in a ring, by the way.
Oh
right.
no.
Get you a good simple guy. That's the one that's gonna give you the ring.
We love you. Thanks.
And don't think that me and Melissa are saying that only like white guys are simple.
No.
Our two are just a special.
Our selections were the exemption to the rule. Let's be very clear.
Right, like
we got lucky in the haystack. Okay.
Right, like they just fell in. They just knocked on the door and we opened. We weren't
like,
looking.
Oh hey, I wasn't expecting you. How you doing?
Speaking of this, at one point we have to do our interracial dating episode at some point because I think people have questions.
Yeah,
I'm about
people
it.
are afraid to ask questions, and trust me, I will roast you and toast you for my man. Okay.
Maybe we should do a question before we record it, like a question segment, like they can ask us questions. Yes. But yes, no, we will do that episode that is in the chopping block. Probably season 4. Yeah.
Because I would roast some ignorant ass motherfuckers. I will roast and toast for my man. I will burn down houses and bridges.
Not to say any names, my man. But there is definitely a podcast out there that is my only issue with them is that right there, the interracial relationship. They do not understand the concept, and it makes me angry when they bring it up, and I just want to go in the microphone and choke somebody because I'm just like, bitch, if you only fucking knew what it took to get to this point. But we're not gonna get into it. Kelly, what about you? Is there any other statements you like that you're like?
Dang, man, I don't even know. I swear, what we just talked about are big statements.
Yeah, I think those are like the big gist of what I guess grinds our gears the most.
Yeah.
Well, I got one more.
Okay. Play it on us, girl.
Black women are hella educated. Okay, we are about to take up all y'all leadership roles. We are the second most educated class in the country, and we coming for y'all. We coming for all the coins and all the dignitary attributes. We want it all. We're ready. Somebody said I look like I could be a CEO. I was like, thank you. That bitch is trying.
I love that.
I'm trying to take over the world. If I had a big booty, I would have done it by now. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure that was put out there. I think the last point I want to bring up for this topic is the reason why we're bringing this up is to start changing narratives. So some narratives I'm perfectly fine with, and some I'm not. And I have no problem being the exemption to the rule, because motherfuckers forget there is a rule to everything, and some people are just the rule, keyword the basics, and some people are the exemptions.
I agree.
So true.
So we just got to keep pushing ourselves to do better for ourselves and then the community, always in that order. We're Americans, never forget, we're selfish. And take the control of the situation and figure out your weaknesses.
Period.
Bam.
Period.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
So as we wrap up this topic, ladies, which one of our 2 social media moments do we want to go with? Because
I want to roast the fuck shit.
We could
go talking about this.
We could go level 1 toxic, or we can go level 10 toxic.
Can we please go level 10? Because as we're talking about this stuff, I think it fits in very well.
All right. Well, then you introducing it. So go ahead then.
All right. So earlier this week, I sent the girls a post. It is from someone named Respectfully Justin. I think that's whose son is that again?
Not mine.
Whose son?
Yeah, he's verified. He's somebody's son.
Anyway.
That's what I meant by this, that he's somebody's son. Anyway, Respectfully Justin wanted to post on his Twitter feed, and I quote, "Gotta test your limits. and see how much you're willing to put up with and how bad I can hurt you. ... Then I can give you the love you need to heal and stay with me. Smiley face, open arms emoji. Hashtag respectfully. Sir, all I have to say to you is respectfully go and off yourself.
Kiss my ass.
Like, go kick some broken glass and cut up your feet.
Nah, do the thunderstorm stomp, like church stomp up in that bitch on the glass.
Praise break.
Because you, sir, is the problem in our community.
First of all, this is why I say it's level 10 toxic. This is some narcissistic ass shit. First of all, talking about you want to break a woman down to build her back up for you.
How about you just treat her right and she will be she will do everything for you.
Loyal to you. If you treat her right and do right by her, get the fuck out of here, nigga.
My problem with thinking like this, even if you were joking about this or whatever the case is, or you put this out jokingly, like thinking that people were gonna like haha and kiki about it, bro, it's not funny. Like whatever you put on the internet, there's gonna be people who take you seriously and people who aren't gonna take you seriously, and this is something serious to take because of the fact that there's so many people out here with this mentality. Even if they're not verbally expressing that this is their mentality, this is stuff that people do on the regular. Like, I know people who have been through stuff like this with men who break them down repeatedly, then pick them back up just to break them down again. And that is called mental abuse.
Yup.
Mm-hmm. And for some reason, a lot of black and colored and brown men don't think that mental abuse is something that's a thing. They only think of physical men who don't believe in
therapy.
Hello. And for you to even post this, like,
and then be like, a man won't truly love you until he hurts you first, bitch.
No, you can truly love someone with all your heart without having to hurt them. That's called healthy relationships. This shit is the toxic shit you see on the internet. This is the toxic shit that celebrities always post out on their Instagram feeds and on their Twitter and stuff like that. This is the toxic shit that people are like glorifying nowadays when it comes to relationships.
This is the toxic shit from like the 50s and 60s and our grandparents and some of our parents who had abusive as fuck relationships and stayed with those motherfuckers for way too long and died with those motherfuckers and be like, oh, I hated him anyways. What the fuck, bitch? Why was you there for 30, 50 years? Leave that motherfucker.
Right? That was out here cat daddying when they died. Like, nah, bro. This is disgusting.
Crip rock on their grave. Like, first of all, you didn't have to do all that. You could have left. Or just killed them. I just options, thoughts.
And I just looked on his other page, and he claims that he is a motivational speaker.
Yup, I saw that. I looked him up.
And I'm like, yo.
That's why I said, if you posted this as a troll.
No, this is his life.
Like, that's like, nah, bro. Like, quit your job, take away your license, like, stop calling yourself a motivational speaker because
you don't need to have a license for that.
You know what?
Just have to have enough people to be like, oh yeah, that sounds right.
We need to go get Gary. We gotta bring Mr. Gary back in here because this is some crazy shit. Like,
Mr. Gary, please give us your thoughts on this.
Please and thank you.
I just post a video and just let us know your thoughts because we'll be very intrigued to hear about this toxic shit. Actually, Kelly, can you send this shit to him?
I definitely will.
Yes, whenever you post this, please tag Gary in this.
Like, please.
And once again, Gary has been one of our best guests on this show. His C Plan Do show. So a real motivational speaker at that.
Yes.
Hello.
Qualified
with a certified
decent human being, guys. Just putting it out there.
So this is the fuck shit that women can't deal with. This is the fuck shit that make a lot of women
crazy,
end up being fuck
snapped
girls.
Lose their job over killing a motherfucker. Break me down, bitch. I'll break you down into pieces.
Listen, my last thing about all of this is leave women alone. Violence. Leave us the fuck alone. Leave us alone. We just trying to thrive and survive, okay?
Yeah.
Leave us alone.
Someone posted that. They were like, should we put this on a shirt or a mug? I was like, put it on a mug so I can look people in the eye when they pissing me off as I drink my coffee in front of them. God damn it. Anyways.
And that's my thoughts on this.
Fuck him. Fuck him and his thought process and anyone who believes that shit. Kiss my ass. Holding the world back. Anyways. Alright. So, y'all have asked why we have said on here we would not have a big wedding. And we're here to tell you our why and why nots. It's mostly why nots, just FYI. But this is not to say we don't love weddings. This is not to say all the glitz and glamour isn't beautiful to look at. This is saying from us 3 women and our perspectives only, this is why we feel the way we feel.
Yeah.
And I'm not leaving my industry. Y'all need to still be getting married and shit. This is not to say motherfuckers need to stop getting married. Because I need my coins. But I'm here to make your dream come true, and it ain't got shit to do with my dreams.
Hello. I think for me, number one is, having your best friend, your 2 best friends be in the industry. It's like, it's expensive. It's expensive.
Oh, I got the numbers, ladies, for all 3 of our cities.
I think that is the top reason why. And first of all, we ain't got money like that.
Nope, sure don't.
No.
We only got enough money to survive and pay our bills.
Papa Vine is not a baller.
And then second of all, that is not my parents. No, my parents got their own bills and their own responsibilities to pay.
Yeah.
My man's parents got their own responsibilities and their own bills to pay. Don't
get me wrong. I will take the money if they offer it and not requiring their input to be involved. Yeah, I'm gonna take that coin.
I'm with Melissa, but at the same time,
I also would rather not, because that does still come with strings, even though they say there's no strings.
Yeah.
Yes. And then, and then my second would be the fact that due to my introverted nature and me not liking attention and being the center of attention and avoiding it as much as possible, I don't like public shit. I don't like PDA. I can't. The most I can do is like a little tap kiss and you hold my hand. Like I still have like an elementary school mentality when it comes to PDA. And I don't like to be the center of attention. Like in my introverted nature, that alone gives me social anxiety alone.
Well, that's the beauty of having 2 best friends who love weddings. We can plan your wedding where you are in the party. You are not the party outside of your ceremony, because that's kind of the point.
But no,
but the actual reception,
you're not gonna pressure me with your wedding planner lingo. You're not. I'm not your client.
I'm not pressuring you. I'm saying I will take the pressure off of you, is what I'm trying to get to. Because I have plenty of clients who are exactly like that, and we will do. I do everything in my power to make sure that they feel comfortable.
She's pitching to me.
I'm not pitching. I'm telling you this is what's going to happen.
She's pitching to me.
I will ask your parents for the money my goddamn self. We will have a wedding.
See, she's pitching.
It will be small and intimate, but it will be a party. Anyways.
So those are my top 2. Those are my top 2.
I say that, but also she's allowed to do whatever the fuck she wants because it's her life.
Listen to her, she'll tie me to a chair
and set your house on fire
and make you watch it with me.
Yep.
I wish I had like a lighter here so I could do a clicking effect.
This is why I need a soundboard.
That has to come next season anyway.
So we got a lot of things to do. Anyways, yeah, I have the facts, y'all. So, in case y'all are wanting to know, so obviously all 3 of us, as we've said 1,000 times, do not live in the same city at all. So, I have the numbers from all 3 of our cities and one of our states, because there's a dramatic difference that I want to also point out. So, Kelly, living in Philly, weddings on average, and this is not this. I hate averages because they're actually not the average.
No.
Yeah.
Because the way percentages work, the vast majority get lumped in, with everything, because that's what an average is. The vast majority do not spend this much. So I want to say that before I say these numbers. So the average, according to Brides Magazine for 2019, was about 32,000 you would spend on a wedding. I'm going to tell you right now that is not true.
No.
You spend way more. To have a decent wedding, you spend way more. And these are based on 100 to 150 guests. Okay. New York, according to Brooklyn Winery, an article they did, and they even broke it down into each section of the wedding that you pay for things. They broke it down into each amount that you would have to spend for your venue and all the other things. So they say in New York City is about 65,000, which I think is the base number. That is not the average. That is the base. Let's be very clear, because you spend that. Okay, I'm gonna get into that later. Hold on. Richmond is 33,000, and Virginia is 28. So the reason why I separated these two is because the cost of your wedding depends on where you host your wedding. Duh. More cities are more expensive, and some cities are less expensive just because of cost of goods and demand. So New York City's number is, to me, the base for cities like Richmond, Philly, any major city you're hosting a wedding. Average weddings are around 60,000. Let's be very clear. If you're in a lower income city, it's going to be a little less, right? But you're spending about 40 to 60,000 at least in a small city like Richmond. In a big city like New York and Philly, you're spending at least 60,000.
Especially if you're trying to have that skyline view of the city and hosting the wedding.
Jesus.
Oh no, you're spending way more than that. You're spending at least 100K. Let's be
right off the
skyline of anything. You're spending 100K.
And let's clarify something. When Melissa says New York City, in New Yorkers lingo, we're talking about Manhattan. Or the surrounding areas that are like 5 minutes outside of Manhattan. So that's like the borders of Brooklyn and the borders of Queens, which is like Long Island City. And in Brooklyn, it's like Greenpoint, Red Hook, those areas like that, those bougie Williamsburg areas and stuff like that in New York. That's what we're talking about when we say New York City.
Yes. Correct.
Those are the expensive areas, because now if you come out to like my neck of the woods or you go out to like Long Island, you're going to pay less than that because it's not the same demand.
Yes, correct.
So, yes, when Melissa says New York City, she dead ass means like the borough of Manhattan, that island.
Not 5 boroughs, the city.
Yes.
All right. So, these numbers I'm giving out, I'm sorry. All of us, our families are considered in the eyes of the government poor because we are not ballers. Our parents do not have 3 million and more in assets. Like, they are not out here living their best lives like that. We are normal fucking people.
They are normal homeowners. They're just doing what they got to do to survive. That's it.
Yep. And people who want these big lavish weddings, they have to take out loans in order to get these big lavish weddings. No one has that kind of money. I'm over here trying to figure out how I'm about to buy a car. I ain't got wedding money.
When it comes to that part where you have to take out a loan for the wedding, I always think about it as the longevity of it. So it's like taking out a loan for anything, whether it's a student loan, a personal loan. Like, you have to pay a fixed amount back for that loan monthly. Now, I always think about it in the fact that, like, what if something happens? Like, nothing is guaranteed. Life, like, everything is, a detriment is inevitable. Now, what if you lose your main stream of income? That is what's helping you pay back your loan for your wedding, your bills, and whatever other responsibilities you have to, financial responsibilities you have to take care of. You lose your main stream of income, and now you're fucked. Now you go into debt because you wanted to be bougie and ball out for your wedding.
Yeah.
And it's just like, now you're going to have to file for bankruptcy at some point because you have debt because of this loan. And that to me is crazy. If I cannot financially get it, figure it out, or financially support it out of my own pocket without having to go to a lender, I don't want it. I don't want it.
I agree. I don't want no more debt.
No.
And I haven't even bought a house yet. So
right.
That's a debt that's coming my way.
And then first of all, if you're telling me that I have to spend $30K on a wedding, that is a down payment for a home. Are you fucking crazy? Mm-hmm. I don't want it. It's not that serious. Proposal. It's not that serious.
Mm-hmm. Well, also the second part to that, half of marriages fail.
Yeah.
And it's usually well before a 10-year mark. So
you still got to pay that 10-year loan monthly. Somebody got to pay it.
Somebody got to pay that loan.
Trust me. And that's a personal loan a lot of the time. So
and yeah, you're not putting that in both of your names. You're putting it in at least one of your names.
Yeah. Yep, and that's on somebody's credit. And you can't be like, and you cannot go back to your lender and be like, well, our marriage failed. We're now divorced. Yep. We want to annul this loan.
That doesn't work.
It doesn't work like that, sir.
They don't care about you.
No, those are the same people who will call my venue and be like, "Oh, we broke up. I want to cancel my contract." Bitch, that's not how this works. Cancellations mean cancellation fees. There's a cost that's
so I'm keeping your deposit
100,000%, and there's probably a chance I have to charge you more because you fell into this tier of cancellation.
Yes.
So explaining that to couples, especially right now during COVID, I have to break it down very clearly. Yeah. If you want to cancel your wedding because you no longer feel comfortable hosting a wedding during COVID, that is not a valid reason to cancel a contract and get your money back. I'm so sorry. Not to sound heartless and not to sound vain, but I'm running a business. If you decide and wake up one morning and do that, that's your choice. The government did not say you can't have your wedding. Because that's the only people I have to legally say you can get your money back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Legally, if the government shuts down my state and says you can't have more than 10 people at your wedding, that's not a wedding. That's not our business. That's not the contract you signed up for. So now I legally have to give you back your money. But if the government doesn't get involved,
it's mine, motherfucker.
I work for a publicly traded company. I'm sorry, that's not how that works. You signed a contract.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, but yeah. The financial and the social anxiety part of it is what basically gets me.
So speaking of that social part, the politics of weddings and the sensitivity around weddings is also a huge deterrent for me. Because everybody knows who knows me in real life and even on here. I don't give a fuck. So when I say I'm not inviting you to my wedding, I'm dead ass serious. I've already made the list for my wedding. It is 36 people with room for 4 more. If I'm nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the 150 person shit, I'm good off of all that. Because half those people you don't speak to ever again after your wedding.
That's so true.
Yep.
You don't. You don't speak to half of them, and you spend your whole wedding speaking to everybody instead of enjoying your goddamn wedding. So then you don't remember your wedding, and you also probably didn't eat.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Like the politics and the sensitivity of, you have to go say hi to this person. They travel from here. Nah, you made the choice. You RSVP'd, yes. I am not about to go out of my way to find you hotel room blocks. No, I'm not. You're a grown adult. Figure it out. You can come if you want. I'm paying the bill for you to come eat and drink. You can figure out everything else. I got other shit to worry about.
Yeah.
That's why I tell you, I'm one of those people, I don't care who I offend by not inviting you to something. That is not my business. I'm not that cool with you anyway.
Nope.
No.
Like, I have aunts and uncles that I don't speak to and cousins that I don't speak to. And you think that I would send out an invite?
But if I post a ring, you gonna be like, "Oh, when am I getting my invite?" Never, bitch. I haven't sent you in 6 years.
Mind your business.
Heifer.
Yeah.
No. Man. It's a no for me. I'm good off of all of that shit.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Bye.
I don't like anybody.
And I think I told you guys before that if I do go along the road of having a wedding at some point in the future, I don't want to have a bridal or a groomsmen party. I don't want to have any type of wedding party. Just everybody's a guest. Come how you want to come. Just look nice for the pictures. That's it. I don't want bridesmaids. I don't want groomsmen. Because that selection process is annoying, and then like I don't want to have like a meal. Like I don't know. It's
a lot.
It's a lot.
That's the beauty of, this is the part about weddings I do love. Those who choose to have a wedding, that's the great thing about literally having a wedding right now in this time. You can break all the traditions you want.
Mm-hmm.
I have couples who don't have wedding parties. I have couples who negate all wedding traditions except for the bare minimum. And I have couples who do all the fucking traditions. That's none of my business. I'm here to make your day happen, but you have the right to do that.
Yeah.
I have couples who do the second dress and who do the sexy second dress, and they're like, "Oh, is this too much? Is it too much for you? It's your wedding, not mine."
Right.
I don't give a fuck.
It's all about customizing.
You gotta wear it. I don't care. Live your life. I'm just here to support it and make the dreams come true when you decide to do it. If you do, no pressure.
None whatsoever.
Nah, just a little. You be fine. Kelly?
I'm gonna just say I'm gonna see y'all at the courthouse if I ever decide to get married.
Yes, bitch, I'm coming as your witness.
Yeah, I just need witnesses. I don't need a wedding party.
Same here. Same here.
So yeah, you're just gonna see me at the courthouse. I don't need anybody come in for a wedding party. I don't need any of the extras. I just need a witness if I decide to get married. But yeah, it's not all about the hullabaloo at this point. And also, I'm with you, Kashana, about the social aspect is just a bit too much. And also, I'm about saving my money. And the biggest thing to me is how we already kind of touched on is the fact that a wedding does not make a marriage in the long run. Nope. That's just not how it works. I think brides get so caught up in the fact that they're designing their wedding dress, they're making their wedding cake.
That they're a bride.
Yeah, that they're a bride. And what happens after that whole entire day is done? You have to go into the real world with your partner and live life. And life hits you right at the front door.
Y'all.
So that wedding that you spent $60,000 or more on does not do anything for the success of your marriage. And that's the way I see it. It's just a party.
Basically.
I would rather use that money to invest into my marriage by buying a house or doing a business or doing something together. Because, like, perfect example, like, you watch those, I call them old time movies, but like movies that are about like the 50s and 60s, and like or even up until now, like parents will throw these kids like giant weddings and all this stuff, and then those kids go back to a studio apartment or some small home that's not even worth half of what they spent on that wedding. So instead of spending all that money to show off to your parents, friends, and family, why couldn't you have given me some of that money to invest into a home or into anything that would better our future as a couple?
Yeah.
Financially, because that's also a reason why people get divorced, finances.
And then on top of that too, is like if you're a person who plans on having a family and building family and having like family assets and, you know, having stuff and having something to pass on to your kids, like that should be the priority, not having a day that basically gives free shit to other people.
Yup.
Exactly.
That's how I see weddings. It's you're giving free shit to people. Don't get it twisted. Invite me though. I'm gonna have the time of my life.
Well, that's the reason
I like free meals.
I'm fine with having something super, super small.
Yeah.
Because I don't mind spending that money on people I know who are going to be there after the wedding is done.
Yes. 100% yes. That I agree with.
And they're going to support me when I'm in that marriage and going through those hard times and trials and tribulations. Those are going to be the people who are going to hold me down while we're trying to figure out those next chapters. So me spending $100-something on everybody to have a good time to celebrate my next chapter. Yeah, because those people invested into the pre-marriage and they're investing themselves into the after marriage.
Yeah.
First of all, if I'm introducing you to my man for the first time at my wedding,
that's a no.
We're not that close.
Except that probably will be my mom, but that's because she's crazy.
Because she's your mom. She's arranged.
That's for a reason. That's intentional.
So those are our feels, I guess.
Well, for anyone who is trying to debate whether to have an intimate or a more lavish wedding, I found during my research a website that can help you figure out exactly how much your budget should be based on what you want. And I think this is the greatest thing. I'm going to start sending it to prospective clients because I love my clients, but some of the people that inquire have champagne imaginations on not even beer money. They got Colt 40 money. Like, y'all need to relax. Sorry. And this website will literally help you figure it out into this. It'll break it down to you by the sections of where you will be spending your money. And I went through it and it's pretty cool. So it's wedding.report, and it's a wedding website, and they have a little calculator there that will ask you questions and it will help you figure it out. And that should tell you how much you will need for your wedding based on what you want. And that will help you answer that question real quick.
That's a fucking goldmine of a website. I actually use that.
Oh, you have?
I didn't know it was a thing until today.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I didn't even tell you about it. I thought everybody knew about it.
No. I would have been sending this to people a long time ago.
Oh gosh, it's a lifesaver. And it kind of like brings you down because they actually can get their questions answered easily before they come to you. So yeah.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's smart.
Yeah, it's really cool. And this is the nerd shit that I get excited about. All right, ladies. Well, anything else we want to talk about on this particular topic?
I think we're good to go.
Awesome. Well, let's wrap up this sucker so my baby girl can hit the airport. And
she catching flights and feelings.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch these Z's and she's catching flights. So live your life.
Yes.
So let's wrap this sucker up and go into our weekly recommendations. So for anyone who is just tuning in, thanks for listening. This is where we give you advice, movies, music, TV shows that we think will help improve your week or your life, whatever helps. And it's sometimes selfish, which mine is today. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Mine's pretty easy. It is to watch on Amazon Prime Video the Mary J. Blige My Life documentary. It is fucking fantastic that I actually teared up quite a bit throughout the entire thing. And it basically goes through the life of Mary J. Blige and how she came about her first 2 albums and just the struggles that she went through living in New York, roughing it and toughing it out. And it's just an absolute amazing thing that you have to watch. It's about 2 hours long, but she goes through her entire mental process and working with the producers and creative directors of her albums, and it's just so good. I just love Mary J. She's such a phenomenal woman.
Awesome.
She's great.
Well, I'll watch that in a couple of weeks when I'm not PMSing like a motherfucker. On the watch list. Thank you, Miss Kelly.
Yeah.
Miss Kishana, would you like me to go or you'd like to go?
I'll go. I also have something very quick. Mine's is a movie. So, did I mention this movie before? I can't even remember.
We'll find out.
Anyway, right. If I did, I guess I'm recommending it again. So, it's a movie. It's called Midsommar, and it's on Amazon Prime currently for free.
Is it that creepy movie that's in like Switzerland?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes, it's actually. I personally enjoyed it very much. Like, the overall vibe is very cultish, and it's very suspenseful in the fact that there's not a lot of talking, but everything is basically visuals, and it's very, very, very creepy, but it's still very, very good to me. Even though there's not a lot of dialogue in the movie, it's written in a way where you understand what's going on without dialogue.
I would agree, and this was definitely a movie that me and my boyfriend were like, this is some white ass shit.
So the same director of that movie, he also has another movie called Hereditary. And if you guys remember the Naked Brothers band,
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
So on Nickelodeon, they used to be on Nickelodeon when we were younger. Yeah. So the younger brother, Alex Wolf, is in there. He's in the one Hereditary, and his acting is amazing. But that movie also is a little slightly more thriller, but it's also as creepy vibes. And it's by the same director.
I actually liked that movie. It was definitely like
it's
some
creepy.
weird shit.
It's creepy.
All right. Well, mine is a selfish plug. So my cousin is an amazing little actor. I didn't stop calling him little.
Oh my god!
I know. Theo. My cousin Theodore Barnes is in a new show. He's an amazing young man. I am so proud of him. He is he's a great kid. Like,
he plays his parts very well.
Plays his parts. He's an amazing person. He's God-fearing. Not that makes a difference, but like, there's different. I'm not even gonna say that. But anyways, he's a great kid, and he's been in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, having a couple cameos there. He's had some Nickelodeon shows, and he's had his own show on Netflix. And I'm so proud of him. He has a new show on BET Plus called The Mrs. Pat Show. He's one of the main characters. I'm downloading it today after my nap and watching the whole entire thing. Please go ahead and watch it. Give him all the support. He 1000% deserves it. And I heard it's great. It's a grown folk show. Most of his other shows have been like more family friendly, so this is more adult, which is awesome.
Because now he is an adult.
He's getting some range, y'all. Oh, my baby's going up.
I seen that he posted the other day that he finally started driving around LA and stuff like that. I was like, oh, he's an adult.
He was a kid actor. Like, he's been doing school, homeschooling. Like, he hasn't had a traditional life, and I'm so proud of everything he's done, all the sacrifices. So kudos to him. Go watch it. Go listen. Love you, cuz. Keep driving.
Kid's great. Because I remember when me and Mel went to meet when I went with you to LA, I met him for the first time. Like, he was going to auditions, and now look at him. Look at him.
He's such an awesome kid. So proud of him.
Yeah.
Well, that's my selfish plug of the week. Well, thank y'all for listening. Anything else, you ladies, that we wanted to touch on? Are we good?
We good to go.
We're good.
Gots to go. We got things to do. Love y'all. Mean it. All right. Well, that is it for today's episode. Thank you for listening to High Tea with Mel, Kell, and Kay. Don't forget, please go ahead and leave us a quick review and just put some 5 stars on there on iTunes. Thank you very much. And if you want any advice or want us to talk about any situationships you got, send us an email at hightmkk@gmail.com. And, you can go ahead and follow us while you're at it on Instagram at hight_podcast. And we are also on Twitter at hightpod1. And take a look in the description for all things high tea. And have a good week. Love y'all. Bye.